Homelessness can be devastating, dangerous, isolating, with shocking figures revealing the average homeless person dies when just 47 years old. But charities working in this sector can play a crucial role in supporting people without a home, to help turn around the lives of those sleeping rough on the streets. Britain is in the grip of a homelessness crisis. The number of people sleeping rough in England has reached record levels, whilst Wales has seen homeless figures jump by nearly 60% in the past year.
How are you? Everything all right?
Yeah, so...
What's the story? Okay, everything all right? Come and see me tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we see what we work out.
Right,
okay?
Right,
NHS mental health nurse Pat Dwan regularly deals with the fallout of homelessness on the streets of Swansea.
It's a case, you take a clinical work from the hospital onto the streets. I go out every morning, every Wednesday morning, Friday morning, find out where the homeless boys and girls are sleeping, give any treatment that they need, injections, make sure they got all appointments that are up to date, and pretty much the same as you do in a hospital ward. Hot air is blown out through this, and it's a conduit between Wine Street and the centre of the city. So, of course, you've got people passing by, and they're happy to give a donation or a couple of pence or a bit of food to the boys and girls that are sleeping here.
The homeless charity Cyrennians was established in 1973 and was once seen by Swansea's rough sleepers as their first emergency service.
We worked hand in hand. We're very, very close. We had an absolutely fantastic working relationship.
Mark Davies was the money man at the Cyrennians Cymru. As head of finance, it was his job to manage government grants and public donations heading to those in need. Elizabeth K. Thomas was a volunteer with the charity at the time.
I mean, he used to come here, I knew him. I personally know him to talk to. He used to come here, and I was always a bit iffy about him. There was always something, there was always something about him that I couldn't get, you know what I mean?
Davies lived in the Castlewood district of the city and was a well-known character in the area.
He was a very smiley, happy sort of a chap. He was a sort of a sports jacket and trousers sort of chap. Quite smart. He was very affable. I mean, you could tell he's the sort of chap that could talk to anybody and put them at ease. My wife and I always said, you know, he's too nice.
And locals also noticed Davies had a taste for the finer things in life, including luxury yachts.
We met him one day down the marina. We'd just been for an Indian meal and said, oh, come onto our boat and have a drink with us. And we had to get home, so we said we declined. But he says, oh, you'll have to come on the boat and have drinks with us sometime. I believe he chartered an aircraft to go to Paris at some point. He was staying at hotels there. I mean, to walk to work every day with his briefcase and then charter aeroplanes, you know, it's two different worlds, isn't it?
You can add to that trips to the London Savoy Hotel, totalling £80,000. But how could this charity manager afford such luxury? Suspicions were raised when one of the Cyrennians' checks bounced. An internal investigation followed. Mental health nurse Pat Dwan attended the meeting where staff discovered the truth.
I understood that he had embezzled a large amount of money. No figure was put on it, a large amount of money. And that he was nowhere to be seen in the city at this particular time.
Davies was funding his luxury lifestyle by secretly siphoning hundreds of thousands of pounds out of the charity's savings and into his personal account. Locals desperately tried to save the charity with fundraisers, but it was too late. The Cyrennians was forced into administration, leading to the loss of 20 jobs.
Well, unfortunately, I think the damage to the reputation of the Cyrennians, through no fault of our own, is terminal. This is a charity that's lasted for 40 years.
A police investigation revealed Mark Davies had stolen £1.3 million from the charity. He was eventually caught and put on trial for his crimes. Pleading guilty, Davies was sentenced to 5 years behind bars.
I don't suppose I could really put it into words how I feel about the guy, Mark Davies. Not on live television, I couldn't anyway. Just not a very nice person. Not a very nice person. He should be brought to see the effect it had on these people, how they felt day one.
Mark Davies is a rat. He's a rat. That's what Mark Davies says. And I tell you what, jail's too good for him, what he done to these boys. But they didn't have no food in their bellies. He was enjoying himself, doing this and that and the other. But one day, Carmen. One day, Carmen.
The demise of the Cyrennians has seen a homeless community in Swansea deprived of a much-loved resource they could ill afford to lose. But a new charity has risen in its place, one which is successfully collaborating with the big food industry to provide essentials for those living rough on the streets. It's estimated the UK throws away 15 million tonnes of food every year. But the church-run charity Matthew's House in Swansea has found a way of putting meals destined for the bin to good use. Welcome to Matt's Cafe.
This is from Tesco, a delivery that we had last night. So it's the stuff that they were going to throw in the bin, basically. We've got veg, we've got fruit, we've got tomatoes, everything like that. So we're going to...
Boxes of hot cross buns, bananas.
So what are we going to do, Mum?
We're going to make a hot cross bun, banana, bread, pudding.
Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it?
Everyday Swansea suppliers, from high street giants through to local organic producers, donate food to the charity. Then it's down to the team to ensure it's fit for human consumption.
We bring it back. We've got a dynamic testing, we call it. So we look at it, we smell it, and we taste it. And if it passes all those tests, then we use it to make some really lovely meals.
Tom is the charity's only full-time employee, choosing to give up a career as a steel worker to run this cafe initiative.
So if we get a couple of deliveries and it's really busy, we need somewhere to store it before we sort it. So we had a cupboard built. The volunteer family thought it'd be funny to name it. So we've got a little WhatsApp group. And what we called it?
Fill the cupboard.
So we want to fill the cupboard, that's what we want to do.
70 volunteers work here each week, with Tom's mum, nicknamed Mama Lynch, in charge of the kitchen. She credits the charity with giving her a new lease of life.
I've suffered with sort of mental health and depression and everything like that myself. And it's made a huge difference to me, as much as it has to hundreds of other people. You know, most of the volunteers have, in one way or another, made themselves better from it.
Another guy that used to work here, innit? He first came in and it was a little bit similar, maybe a little bit isolated, come out of an addiction process, innit? You know, he became sober and he came here, basically was a huge part of the team for about 4 months. And then had the confidence to leave us and open his own butcher's, which is just down the road. So he now, and actually on the menu today, we have faggots that he donated yesterday from his butcher's.
Elizabeth K. Thomas used to volunteer with the Cyrennians Cymru, the charity scammed and forced into closure, but she's returned to support Matt's Cafe.
My main job is to do tables and to chat to people and make people welcome and that. That's my job. And then I've done what I've come here to do, to make people happy.
The charity's mission is to serve as many as 150 meals a day to anyone passing through its doors, no matter how much they can give in return. They call it donating with dignity, which often means they give food for free to those who are homeless or struggling with life.
People that come here, they don't just come just for the food and everything. There's the outreach here as well. If you've got problems, there's always someone here that can help you. I mostly come for the food though.
Matt's Cafe relies upon public donations to keep its doors open. But following the collapse of the Cyrennians Cymru, they're determined to avoid the same fate as the charity that was destroyed by insider fraud.
We totally understood the demise of the Cyrennians and what caused that. And the effect of that was catastrophic. So we have a finance team that's set up with people of a lot of different talents and abilities and what they do. One of them is a former fraud investigator, which is perfect and absolutely, you know, he's just on it.
The cafe is open 3 days a week and in January served its 10,000th meal, a remarkable achievement for a charity led and run by its volunteers.
You know, you just look at them, there's nothing wrong with it, you know? It just seems criminal when there's people going hungry and there's food going in the bin. It's just insane, isn't it? And this is like our ticket, really, into making a relationship with people that need support and help. Since we opened the place, since we opened our first project, it's kind of become my life. It's kind of like my second home. And the beauty in that is I think it is for a lot of other people as well.